Have you been surviving rather than living? Have you just been moving, in this life, responding to the chaos of this life, responding to the busy schedules, responding to tight work schedules, responding to motherhood? Motherhood comes with bits of challenges, and you are at a point where you feel like you're no longer living the life you desired. You're now living another life that feels like it's choking you. Now, I invite you in this journey where we deliberately slow down, we deliberately become intentional, we deliberately take time, skin care, we take care of our spiritual life intentionally. And in this case, we do not necessarily have to have an extra time. It's basically about intentional living. And to paint a picture of what intentional living means, it means like you wake up in the morning, you get your time for devotion, you get time to take your cup of tea or cup of coffee or breakfast. If you're preparing your kids to go to school, you prepare them. There are no chaos in the house. You know, it looks like intentional living looks like someone who has chosen to walk with a pace that is not so rushed, with a pace that is not too slow, looking like they're doing nothing. And also, intentional living looks like someone who is intentional about even their skincare. You understand your skin, so the skincare routine is not about trends. It's not about what is trending in the market. It's about carefully selecting what is working for your skin. And so, I invite you in this journey. And basically, that's why I brought this channel so that we can have women or men, even anyone, a youth, a lady, who is intentional and who is deliberate in the work in their life. You don't have to learn through tight schedules. Yes, there are tight schedules, but there is a way you learn and you don't lose your peace. Because the most important thing is that you learn this life when you still have your peace, when you still have your mentor, teacher in place. We are living in a world that is so stressful that most people are mentally disturbed. Most people have mental issues, and some of these things are coming because of stress. And intentional living means that I'm not going to avoid stress, but the way I'm going to act when stress comes my way is going to leave me in a better place, not at a worse place. We are in a world where life is moving so fast. You have work schedules, you have deadlines, you have studies, you have dreams to achieve, you have projects that are running, you have limited finances, you have limited time, and all this is coming on one person. All this is looking for attention for one person, and it gets to a point whereby either you break down mentally or you just survive there, you just walking life, surviving, and all that. And so I invite you in this journey, a journey that we are going to walk together, a journey that is not lashed, a life that is not lashed, a life that is not chaos, a life that is not reactive. We proact, we act ahead of time. Like I plan ahead. I know I have a work deadline. I don't wait until the last minute. I'll have I'll work through before time comes, and I'll have already done my work so I don't have to rush with deadlines. I look through my kids' program, school program. I plan ahead so that I don't have to rush in the morning that we don't have this, we don't have the other. And so I live a very intentional life. One thing that you're going to realize is that somehow, some of the uh, skin related issues are related to stress, because when you get stressed up, there's a tendency to have acne, there's a tendency to have dehydration, there's a tendency to have fine lines on your skin because of stress, too much exposure to stress. Another aspect of stress is that the mental aspect of life, you know and so intentional living with Esther is basically a platform that I created, having lived that life of chaos, having lived that life of uncertainty, having lived a life that is very peaceless. And then I came to a point whereby I decided, no, I think it's time I started living. It's time that I started thriving with the much or with the little that I have. Sometimes I may not even have enough. Sometimes you will find people who enjoy life and they don't have it all. You will find people who have it all and they don't enjoy life. I remember I came across one person. I was working for one client. This is someone who is running into millions and millions, but this person is very chaotic. You know, you look at their office space, it's very chaotic. You look at their life, this, you sit down with them and you talk to them, and you can feel their life is very chaotic, yet they have it all in terms of money. And I realized that money is not everything. Money is not all that you need. Money is not all that you have, you need. Sometimes we lose ourselves when we are chasing the money, rather than sitting down and enjoying money, enjoying what we have, as little as it is. So that's why I'm inviting you in this journey. I'm inviting you in this channel, that we may walk together, you know, that we may look into life from a different perspective. That the moment I started living intentionally, something shifted in my life, something changed in my life. I no longer chase things, you know. I know, don't forget, I am still very ambitious. I am actually a very ambitious person. But I think the way I now pursue opportunities, the way I pursue things, is from a place of peace. If it is not, if it is denying me peace, I probably not going to pursue it, because I don't want to end up losing my soul as someone who is a believer in Christ. I also don't want to end up losing my mind in pursuit of things that I may not end up enjoying. You know, I know you have heard people who work hard in their life, people who put all their energies, but at the end of it all, maybe mental issues end up taking a toll on their lives. They end up not enjoying what they toiled for, you know. And that is not the kind of a life personally I want to live. And I invite like-minded people who are saying, yes, Esther, I do not want to live that kind of a life. I want to live a very fulfilled life, because God has a good plan for us. God did not bring us into this world to just survive, you know. God did not bring you into this world to just endure the chaos. He brought you into this life to enjoy. Sometimes intentional living looks like just sitting down, enjoying your cup of tea or coffee, without much hurry, without much stress. So I invite you in this journey. Welcome into this channel. Share, like, and subscribe. And I would like to hear your thoughts on what areas of your life would you like to start living intentionally.